Welcome back to Normski TV and the match reaction. Arsenal 3, Coventry nil. Arsenal 3, Coventry nil, and I got my prediction right on the Bruised Banana and also on a couple of the chats that we've been doing some predictions for this game tonight. Arsenal champions open the season well against Coventry, and looking at the lineup, I'm just going to quickly go through the lineup. Obviously, we're hearing the news about Bruno Ramirez possibly has got some kind of thigh. I think Mikel Arteta in the pre-match when he had his interview was saying that he's got a groin issue. Now I'm not too sure because when he came off in that game against Man City in the Community Shield, he had a big ice pack around his thigh. So some people are saying it's a thigh problem. So at the moment we're not too clear. There's rumours saying that it could be a grade 2. He could be out for a couple of weeks. We don't know. But look, he's out. We don't know if he did it in training or what, but it's another one that bites the dust. Mikel Arteta is another one of your victims, but it is what it is. But look, let's focus on the game tonight. And in goal, Raya in goal. And in the back four, we had Ben White, Mosquera, Gabriel, and Calafiori. Miles Lewis-Skelly makes his first start for Arsenal, which is brilliant. Declan Rice, look, he had to start because I thought if Bruno was fit, I think Bruno starts tonight and Declan comes off the bench. But lo and behold, he starts Rice and he also starts Saka on the right-hand side. Odegaard in the 10. Solis, who I thought had a great game tonight, on the left, and Kai Havertz leading the line. And obviously on the bench, he had the likes of Gokares, Ethan Ranreri, Zubamendi, Moreno, Ankipe, Eze, Gokares, Max Dalman, and Kepa. No sign of Jesus, no sign of Martinelli. We don't know what's happening there. It looks like they could be on their way out. Is that going to be a loan thing? Is it going to be permanent? We just don't know at the moment. Everything's kind of really up in the air. We know that we do need to sell. Now, guys, just give me 2 seconds. I think somebody's at the door. So this is not normally what I do in my match reaction, but give me 2 seconds. I'm back. Sorry about that, people. It's a bit unprofessional, but you know how it goes. But listen, let's get back into it. As I said, those were the people on the bench. The unused subs was Kepa, Victor Gokares, who, listen, don't know what the future is going to be happening with this guy. Is he going to end up, as you can see in the background over there, watching Declan Rice lift that cup? And he was part of that winning team last season, scoring 14 goals, 21 in all comps. But is he getting pushed out the team? He doesn't come on. Madueke comes off a Saka, but we'll get onto the changes. But look, tonight, the game, Coventry comes there. They won the championship. I think they scored 90 points and scored over 90 goals. So, coming up is a baptism of fire, especially coming to the Emirates. And as I said, I predicted 3-0. It could have been more. There's some chances that several of our players miss. Even though Odegaard got his goal, it kind of ricocheted off his foot, and it sort of the goalkeeper couldn't hold on to it. And Solis missed a couple of chances. So we could have put this game completely to bed. But what I wanted to see was that when we scored those 3 goals or so, that Arteta started to make the changes because it's important. The likes of Saka and Declan Rice, who are still, I don't feel, are fit. You know, they're coming off the back of a long summer playing in the World Cup and that, and I still feel that they need to be, rested. But he's got no choice, and he's ended up, playing them and starting them in the game. But from the offset, look, the first probably 10 minutes of that game, 10 to 15 minutes of the game, I felt the game was a little bit tentative. I felt that Coventry started on the front foot, and they got the first corner from the left hand side. They got or the right hand side, going down the right hand side, but they're left, Arsenal's left. And I felt that Odegaard was dropping deep to pick the ball up. Now, when he was playing against Man City in that Community Shield, albeit that it was a game that had no real pressure on it, what he was doing was dropping deep, and I needed to see him more further forward. As the game progressed, we started to see him go a little bit further forward, and he was finding himself in the box. And to be perfectly honest, when the first goal that was scored, let's go to the live ticker. I think it's the overview. Let's go to the overview. So the first goal, Kai Havertz scoring the first goal, an assist from Calafiori. Great build-up play, um, moving the ball through the lines, vertically through the lines, and on the end of it, Kai Havertz hits it perfectly into the bottom left-hand corner. And it was a well-taken goal. And I thought Kai had an half-decent game. Second half, I didn't really see much of him. He was there. He played the whole 90 minutes. Hence why Victor Cockers didn't get a look in. And then in the 23rd minute, Saka getting the second goal. Again, the build up on the left hand side. A lot of the play on this occasion came from the left hand side. Again, Solis was involved in the play. He was involved in the first goal, also involved in the second goal. Now, one football showing that when Saka scored a goal, it's not showing who got the assist. I thought it was Solis, but I don't know whether it came off one of their defenders or where the goalkeeper parried it out with it, soft hands, and then Saka was there to bury it. So well done, Saka, getting his goal. And I thought Saka had an okay game. You know what I mean? He hasn't got the same burst of speed, but at least he gets his goals. It gives him a little bit of confidence, which I'm pleased about. Um, and then we go in, into the first half, 2-0 up. Second half, we come out and really 4 minutes later, Martin Odegaard, Ben White with the assist from the right hand side. It was what we call the pillow foot shot, where it kind of, when he hit it, it's like he miskicked it, and I think he kind of came off his other foot. And the goalkeeper again didn't really do enough to keep it out. And we go 3-0. And during the game as well, just talking about Solis, I thought, his movement, his direct, he just keeps things very basic. He does what it says on the tin. And I like his directness. Do you know what I mean? Is he going to be consistent? Let's hope so. Because if he's going to be the one that is going to be the first choice and start, who's going to be start? Who's going to be the other person on that left hand side? Martinelli wasn't even in the side tonight. Jesus wasn't in the side tonight. Eze does come on for him in the second half. Later on in the second half, Eze comes on for him and obviously goes over. I think he said 76 minute he came on and goes over onto that left hand side. Is that what we're going to see this season? Eze, for me, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I think we still need to go out and get a proper left winger, because if at any point, because Solis was taking a few knocks tonight, do you know what I'm trying to say? And if he does get injured and he's out, who we've got as a proper left-sided attacking player? That's what we need over that side. And for me, every Eze is just not that kind of player, personally speaking. And I think not only that, he just needs to do a little bit more work. I think just, when you watch him, his language style, when he kind of strolls around, he needs to be a little bit more busier, and be working a lot harder. And I think that's just something that goes against him. That's probably why he doesn't end up getting picked. Moreno comes on for Martin Odegaard, drops in that 10 role. and came on and done a job. I mean, all in all, the side overall, I was talking with Mackie on the phone. We was sort of saying this is like an 8.5 out of 10 performance from the team. But I'm telling you, guys, you know who I'm going to come up now with. Noddy Madueke comes on for Saka in the 68th minute. The guy floats a ball into the area where there's nobody there, and then he's pointing and going, "Why did someone move?" It's almost like this guy panics. It's almost like he panics. Yeah, he's got to learn to. It's just like his head can't commute with what his feet is doing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So how this guy is coming on, on before the likes of Darman and Ethan is beyond me. And Gockers must be just sitting there, just thinking, have I really got a future here? Do you know what I mean? And with the talk of Alvarez, is that something, some people seem to still think that there's a chance that we could get Alvarez. I'm not gonna, be going down that road. If it happens and they surprise us, fair play. But I can't really see it happening. I don't know if we're gonna see us get another attacking player. I can't see it happening. My son seems to think that we're going to probably get Rashford on deadline day. That's something that we could probably see happening. I'm not going to lie, but I just think with the attacking situation at the moment, it's really very much up in the air, and I don't know what Gokos' future is. I mean, even in the game, obviously the camera panned on Arteta when I think he was giving some instructions or whatever, and you could see Gokos was giving him the daggers, man. It was proper giving him the daggers. So listen, it's going to be interesting. As I said, Martinelli not even in the squad. So for Martinelli not to be in the squad, a guy that's been with us so many years, came as a young player, and now he looks like he's being pushed out the side, and I think he will probably end up going, probably maybe go to the Saudi League. He's turned down the Galatasaray, as we all know. So who knows what's going to happen there? But I did feel that the team played really well tonight. We could have scored more goals. I mean, when you look at the overall stats, I think we had, just looking at it, we had 64% possession, expected goals, if you want to go down that road, 1.8. But it was the total shots that we had. We had a total of 20 shots to their 4. We had 6 shots on target, and our shot accuracy is at 30%. This is all from One Football. 8 block shots. We had 10 shots out inside the box and 10 shots outside the box. 8 corners to their 2 corners, and we had 5 offsides to there. They didn't really listen. Coventry, it's a tough one. When I say it's a tough one for them to come and play against, the champions at the Emirates. We do not give away chances at the Emirates, and to be perfectly, their expected goals was 0.28. And I think it was in the second half was the first time they had a chance in inside our box. So Frank Lampard has got to go back to the drawing board. He's got a couple of games. I know that he's going to be playing Hull. I think that's their next game at home, and then I think they're away to Man City. So, listen, if they can beat Hull, and then they're going to probably get turned over big time against Man City. But for us, it was a great start to the season. As I said, champions, we open the season well with a 3-0 win against Coventry. And as far as I'm concerned, I felt everybody, had a good game. You know what I mean? Miles Lewis-Skelly, for me, would probably be the man of the match, closely followed by Solis. You know what I mean? But I thought Miles Lewis-Skelly done really well. First half, a couple of times he was giving away a couple of loose balls, but he grew into the game, and he was basically bossing that midfield. Absolutely bossing that midfield. I thought Declan Rice just kept things ticking over, made that great long busting run as we did, where the goal came from, laying it off to Odegaard, and then Odegaard laying it off to the left, and then that's where the Kai Havertz goal came. So that in itself was really, really good to see, Declan Rice. But it was good to see that Arteta did take them off, in I think it was like the 68th minute, something like that. 68th minute. Let's just be clear. Yeah, 68th minute. Declan Rice and Saka taken off in the 68th. Maybe they could have taken them off early. I mean, if we had got a 4th goal, he probably would have taken them off. But I want to see more of this rotation from Mikel Arteta. It's important that he does that because it is a very long season. And as I said, Coventry didn't really have any chances against us. I think they had one chance in the box. But to be honest, they're a championship side. They look like a championship side. And, Frank Lampard, his work is going to be really cut out for him this season. For them, this was just basically, a game where you just come into it and think, right, listen, let's come in here and see what happens. If we get something from it, great. If we don't, we ain't going down at this point because it's too early in the season for that. But if they play like that, they're going to get beaten by most teams. Do you know what I mean? They're going to get, beaten by most teams. But all in all, pleased with the guys. I thought the back four done well. Raya, not much he had to do. Didn't have to really make any kind of big saves or anything like that. I feel with Gabriel Mangalese, I just think that, yes, he had a good game, or decent game, should I say, but he didn't really need to go and get that yellow card over on the opposite side from where he plays. You know what I mean? He just needed to stand up to the player, but he decided he's going to pull his shirt and gets a unnecessary yellow card. I feel that he looks a little bit shaky, when he hasn't got his main partner with him there, Saliba. But look, all in all, the defence, Calafiori had a good game going forward, setting up and getting the assists. And obviously, Solis, we talked about him. And then I think overall, the game was good. There's not really much more you can say. You know what I mean? It's a good opening start to the season, and that's what we want. Our next game, obviously, is away to Aston Villa, and that obviously is going to be a lot tougher. I know they've got players missing, players that are injured, players that have left the club. Konza, who now is an Arsenal player with the number 15, he was sort of brought out to the stadium tonight and shown off to the crowd. He was sitting in the crowd watching. And I suppose it's going to be interesting because he's signed a 4-year deal with an extension if he wants it by a year. We bought him for 51 million plus 4 million add-ons. So we're looking at 55 million pounds. 28 years old. So we'll see what he's going to offer. That right-hand side is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting when it comes to Mosquera. Will Mosquera lock down that place, or will it be Konza going forward to partner with Gabriel Mangalito, which I think that's probably going to be the case. Does he start against Villa next week, Monday? That's going to be another interesting one to look out for. But as I said, all in all, great game. The only one for me that just again wasn't really cutting it was Madueke. And as Matty said, it might be that Arteta's giving him enough rope to hang himself, and then we'll see what happens therein. But if Saka gets injured long term, then we're going to be in trouble on that right hand side. I hope the likes of Ethan and Max Darman, especially Ethan, stays, but I can see him going out alone. I think Max Darman will be the one that stays. But will he get the game time? Will he? I'm assuming it'll probably be the cup games that you're going to see a lot of him in. With the Gokares situation, going back to that again, could he be just that Gokares only plays in the cup games because he literally didn't get a look in tonight? Kai Havertz plays the full 90 minutes. So, this is a guy that scored 14 goals, and this is how he's been treated. So let's see what happens. But listen, all in all, great game. Champions open the season well, and we move. Next time, I will be on the hopefully on the Mingle with DJB Wednesday. My show, the What's Going On podcast, will be delving in, looking at the games over the weekend, seeing how our teams fare. But Arsenal, we get off to a great start, winning 3-0. We sit top of the league and champion defending the title. Take care, and I'll see you on the next match reaction. Take care, and God bless.